Hello, I'm Death's Arrow, and welcome to episode 16 of What I'm Thinking. In this episode, I will look at the Cromwell and how this medium tank is one of the first gems of the new British tanks. From a historical perspective, the Cromwell was part of the cruiser line of tanks developed by the British and fielded during World War II. Cruiser tanks were intended to be fast and mobile so they could exploit holes in the enemy lines opened up by slower and more heavily armored infantry tanks like the Churchill. The Cromwell's development started in late 1940 and was designed to replace the Crusader. The tank would be fitted with the QF 6-pounder gun and be ready for service in 1942. Due to issues with the original Liberty engine, the project was delayed until early 1943, while a new 540 horsepower Meteor engine was converted from the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine used to power the Spitfire. Prior to service, the 6-pounder gun was swapped out for the ROQF 75mm gun, which was an adaptation of the 6-pounder converted to fire the ammunition from the US M3 75mm gun. The Cromwell was first fielded during the invasion of Normandy and was utilized as the main British reconnaissance tank in northwest Europe. After the war, the Cromwell remained in service and saw combat in the Korean War. In World of Tanks, the Cromwell is well suited to function similarly how it did in real life. It has fast speed and acceleration, allowing the tank to take key sniping positions on the map, as well as exploit holes in the enemy lines. While the tank has very good mobility, its armor is somewhat lacking and will not bounce a lot of shots, especially from same or higher tiered opponents. When playing this tank, you typically don't want to take on heavy tanks by facing them up. You want to get to good sniping positions where you can get flank shots on the enemy. If you're spotted, you need to quickly relocate to a new position. Abuse terrain whenever you can, as a Cromwell has excellent gun depression. Firing on the move isn't particularly advisable, as the tank cannot mount a vertical stabilizer and the reticule bloom is significant. At close range, this is less of an issue, and the tank's speed makes circling lone heavies a viable tactic. This tank is most comparable to the EZ-8 Sherman. The two tanks have very similar speed and maneuverability. The difference is that the EZ-8 is more accurate on the move, which is based on being able to mount a vertical stabilizer, while the Cromwell has the better gun with 17mm more penetration and 20 more points of damage. For equipment on this tank, you can see that my current loadout is a rammer for faster reloads, an enhanced gun laying drive to improve aim time, and a camo net. I happen to have this equipment on hand at the time I ran the tank. I would likely consider replacing the rammer with a vent. The trade-off for slightly longer reload times in exchange for slightly better stats across the board is very valuable for a fast maneuverable tank. I would also consider swapping out the camo net for optics. I will typically fit a camo net out on any new tank if I can't afford other equipment at the time. For crew skills, since this is the first medium tank in the cruiser line, I started a new crew in this tank and trained them to 75% with credits. I decided to take repair as the first crew skill, although I'll likely respect the crew in the future. Useful skills in this tank would include Sixth Sense, Smooth Ride, Snapshot, and Brothers in Arms. The first replay that we'll be looking at is a solo battle on Erlenberg from December 1st, 2012. As noted at the top of the loading screen, this is a standard battle. Reviewing tank composition for this battle reveals the following. This is a Tier 7 battle with 2 Tier 7s per side. Both teams have 4 Tier 6s and a single Tier 5 arty. My team has 6 Tier 5s, the enemy's team has 7. My team has the lone Tier 4 scout. I don't recognize anyone in this battle. As the battle loads in, I've spawned at the southwestern base. My thought here early on is to head north along the 2 line and utilize the hill at C2 to snipe from, so I can take advantage of my gun depression.
Time to roll out.
Going to take the low road around the castle. This will keep me out of sight just in case the enemy sneaks a scout right across the middle. Tank distribution looks decent so far. Got 4 tanks covering the southern bridge, 5 tanks following me to the north. We've got a heavy in the middle. Gonna climb the hill here at C2 and see what there is to see. Utilizing this brush for camouflage. M5 is going to move up and spot. Not sure why that Panzer IV is on the other side of the hill. Got a T-49, start taking snipe shots at him. Having trouble lining him up. Reposition, I've got a KV in my sights and a Jumbo Sherman. Keeping an eye on the T-49 as he's running across the buildings trying to chase our scout. Coming down off the hill now. The enemy has not really well guarded this bridge. Spotted Artie here. And an Su-85. Gonna shoot Artie first, their priority target.
Enemy is hit.
Get a hit. Sticking with Artie, get a second hit.
They're knocked down.
And knock down the enemy Artie. Now I'm going to work over this Su-85 and I get a hit. Trying to support our Crusader on the other side of the river. Get the flank on the EZ-8.
Went right through.
Hit him. Crusader knocks down the Su-85.
They're hit.
Still taking flank shots at the EZ-8.
Looks like that one went right through.
Get a hit.
That's gotta hurt.
Another hit. Take a flank hit. And I knock down the EZ-8. Got a KV-1 and a jumbo still in the middle. Our team has crossed the southern bridge based on the minimap. We've got 5 tanks, myself included, on the north. I'm pressing across the bridge here. Miss a shot on the run. You can see how big the reticule bloom is when you're moving at full speed. You can spot the KV from here and see his back end. Hit the building.
Penetration.
Get a rear hit on his track, no damage.
Enemy
Got a flank on the jumbo. I light him on fire.
target.
Knock him down. Gonna back into cover. And then maneuver forwards. Get out of that little trap spot that I was in. Looking at the mini-map. Still control the south, although they haven't moved from the cluster of buildings. Get a flank hit on the Churchill 1 on top of the hill. Another hit,
Enemy
damage.
hit. They're knocked down.
Knock down the Churchill 1. We control all the bridges now, and we've pushed into enemy territory. Got flank shots on this M6.
They're hit.
Hit no damage.
Penetration.
That was no damage penetration. Likely hit spaced armor. Move up on the M4. Miss.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Hit him in the front. He gets knocked down by our M5. Enemy's pretty overwhelmed here. We've got a 7-tank lead. Look at the mini-map, they're pushing the center bridge now. Other than our Artie, our entire team is across on the enemy's side of the river. I'm going to push up the hill. See if I can get some flanks on that T-43 or the M6. I'm going to have flanks on the 43 here.
Looks like that one went right through. Enemy is hit.
Getting flank shots here. He misses his return shot.
Hydraulics are down. We
Take
have
a
to
hit.
crank the turret.
Turret gets damaged, but I knocked down the T-43. Moving in on this 3601. Get hit by the T-3045.
Got him.
Return fire and knock him down. Consider going back up the hill to help the 3601, but he gets knocked down quickly. Just the M6 remaining. We've got, looks like 4 tanks on cap right now. This battle's in hand. Take a risk on the M6 and bounce and ram him for the kill. Normally I wouldn't ram an enemy tank like this, but this was Top Gun weekend and getting a Top Gun was worth 20,000 credits. Based on information from the Wot Replay Analyzer, I destroyed 6 tanks to earn a Top Gun medal, damaged 3 more, dealt 2,087 points of damage, and earned 1,671 experience. Overall, this battle is a good example of how to use the main features of the Cromwell. I utilized the tank's mobility to get to a good sniping position early on. I then sniped the enemy defenders near the north bridge and quickly broke through to the enemy side of the river. From there, it was a matter of breaking down the remaining enemy defenses to secure the win. Normally, I don't recommend ramming heavier tanks, especially when your health is low. In this case, I was trying to get a Top Gun to earn the 20,000 credit bonus that was being offered that weekend. Unless the match outcome isn't in doubt, I don't recommend playing specifically to earn medals. The second replay that we'll be looking at is a solo battle on Corellia from December 2nd, 2012. As noted at the top of the loading screen, this is a standard battle. Reviewing tank composition for this battle reveals the following. This is a Tier 8 battle with 6 Tier 8s per side. Both teams have the same number of Tier 7s and 6s as well as a single Tier 5 arty. I don't recognize anyone in this battle. Spawned at the southwest base. My thought here early on, this is a Tier 8 battle. So my thought would be to go to the hill at G7, try to get some flank sniping in on the enemies that will go valley.
Time to roll out.
I will typically go to this position in a medium, especially when I know I can make it. If the enemy has superior medium tanks or faster tanks in general, I won't go in that direction. Got a Centurion with me. Looks like there's a couple other heavies headed in this direction. Definitely have the fastest tank on the field, so getting to this position shouldn't be difficult. A little bit of a drift there as I go over that hump. Climb the hill without spotting an enemy. Got a Type 59 spotted. Line them up and miss. Gonna be a tricky duel for me. The 59 is a lot better tank with better armor. Try to shoot the top of his turret and miss. Backing out, playing this very carefully. Straight up duel is definitely a loss for me. Spot a KV-1S and shoot him, hit him in the side. Still keeping a very close eye on this 59. I've got help from the Centurion. He's distracted. I bounce off his turret. Another bounce. At this point I have changed to premium rounds. Now that they cost credits, they are a viable option against tougher enemies. And I get a pen there. Get a hit in the flank. He's distracted between me and the Centurion. He's back down the hill. Another bounce off his turret. Still playing this very carefully. Jockeying back and forth, trying to attack when he's distracted. Missed my shot there. And knock him down with the flank shot. Switch back to standard ammo. The enemy has this valley really loaded here. I've got maybe 3 options. I could charge at them and try to get flanks, which likely would result in my death. I could jump off the hill and go back towards our base. Or my third option is to snipe. At least if there's any enemies spotted. In this case I have a 12T I start firing on.
Enemy is hit.
Get hit. Another hit.
We nailed him back.
Take a hit in the flank.
That's gotta hurt.
Hit the 12T again. 12T disappears. I fire a blind shot. I actually hit him. I decide that I'm going to go down the slope here. One of the nice things about physics. I went a little fast there. Normally you don't want to go like that because I did take some damage in the fall. I'm going to circle around this rock. Try to catch the 12T.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Knock him down on the move. I'm going to move behind this rock up here. There's a low. Our Panzer V M10 is currently engaged the low. Not a good situation for him. That's a losing battle. Missed my first shot.
Enemy is hit.
Now I hit the low. And the Centurion knocks the low down. Unfortunately, I did hit the Panzer V M10 by accident. I'm now going to charge up the middle. I see my opportunity to go in and take out the enemy arty. There's also a Dicker Max somewhere around here. Spot the Dicker Max. He's not facing my direction, which means I'm not spotted. Missed my first shot. Hit him with my second shot. He's spinning towards me to engage me. I am partially hull down here using this little hump in the terrain. Hit him again. And knock him down. Got the Hummel here. Take a hard hit from the Hummel, but he doesn't knock me down. Just take my time and line up my shots. I'm rotating both the hull and turret here. Keep them lined up. And I knock down the Hummel. We now have a 9-tank lead. So I hit the cap. Just the IS remaining. And they knock him down for the win. I actually took screenshots of the after-action screens of this battle. Based on the victory screen, I destroyed 4 tanks, hit 21 of 29 shots, dealt 1,988 points of damage, and earned 1,881 experience for an Ace Tanker badge. Overall, this match shows off how to play an exploitive role in a higher tiered match. I used the Cromwell's mobility to reach a key sniping position on the map. Thanks to having some support, I was able to hold this position and knock down a Type 59. I then had a decision to make about what to do next. I could have impaled myself upon the enemy, but rather than waste my tank, I moved to the edge of the hill to snipe. Once spotted, I had to bail from the hill. Thanks to physics, I was able to take a route to the middle, which allowed me to penetrate into the enemy's rear. While some players look down on the use of premium rounds in pub matches, there are some situations where they are invaluable. Now that premium rounds can be purchased for credits, there's no reason not to carry a few rounds for emergencies. Thank you for watching this episode of What I'm Thinking. Stay tuned for another episode soon. In the next episode, I will tackle the M46 Patton.